aka Carbon Mike. Message me on X to order, and $10 of every purchase goes to the Dexter Taylor Legal Defense Fund. Sig Soda is your source for Pro 2A Amendment gear, official sponsor of the Night Court Show. Let's show Sig Soda some love and some support.
Hell yeah.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
Hey, can y'all hear me all right?
Is that your new podcast situation there, John?
It is. How does it sound?
Low.
All right. What about now?
That sounds better.
Yep, I got you in StreamYard, Twitter, and on YouTube.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, that sounds better. We're going to mute the.
All right, Big Ron, I've got you as a co-host
We are
inside the space.
We are professional.
I'm going to move away from the phone so we don't have this double feedback loop, hopefully tonight. And but you have the helm inside the space, my friend.
I'm everywhere right now. Before
Mute yourself in the space, Joe. Please.
Well, no, I was trying to ask JoJo a question, then everybody started talking to make sure that mics were good and all that shit. And then if I didn't mute after that, that's my fault.
He can still hear you. He's just getting the audio from the StreamYard.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask if he was a retired radio host, because dude sounds like an AM radio host from back in the day, and I was just going to give him shit about that. So,
like a Good Morning Vietnam. Here he is, right here. Where is Lanu?
Radio host from back in the day, there, other Joe.
Oh, there you are. I just added you to the stage. Joe, were you an AM radio host?
I was not.
No.
No. Can you hear Joe talking, Joe?
Can you hear me talking, Joe?
I can. I call you Joe too.
All right, cool. There might be some lag between us, and I apologize for that. No, sir, I'm not. I just, the way that you were coming in to do your mic check reminded me of some shit I used to listen to back in the day. So it was all in good fun.
Okay, well, good. We are live right now, streaming out these conversations. So
we are so professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. No,
what
absolutely.
else would you expect with Joe Lanu and his audio sounds?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I'm just smart ass.
Yeah.
Hey, Kingdom, I like that background.
You do?
I do. That's snazzy.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, well, let's kick this off. We'll compliment each other later. It is 8:01. I want to welcome everybody to the Night Court with Joe Lanu and my night crew. Tonight, we've got co-hosting inside the space and taking the helm is Big Ron. We've got John Cox is one of our panelists tonight, former law enforcement. Also on the panel, we have Jason, who's a current law enforcement officer, and we've got TC, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment podcaster. He's going to act as another panelist. We've got at least Lawyer Joe that'll be here soon. She usually have to make pizza or some cookies. Oh, she's backstage. Let's add her up and get her in here. And we have Lawyer Joe, as I call her, but Joe, an exer that we commonly have on our shows. She is also a panel member to review these videos. And folks, I've got some good videos for us tonight. It's going to be pretty exciting. I want to take this time before we go to get everyone in the space to retweet. And Big Ron, if you'll put that list out in the pill there on the space. Folks that are in the space, I've loaded you up each one of the videos in order, numerical order, that we'll be reviewing. In case there's any issues with the audio on the live stream between the spaces like we've had before, we'll give you the opportunity to review the video directly from the link. So we should be doing pretty well on that. And give me just a second here. I want to retweet out our live link to folks out there to show us that we are live and doing this show. Bam. Retweet. Okay, folks, let's get into our first video. We've got several to go through tonight, and they will be interesting to say the least. The first one we're going to start out with is, if you have friends in Utah, I hope he's not this guy. But let's get to the videos.
911, what's the address and city of your emergency?
So he's getting on to 84 from 89.
Okay.
He's going 84 westbound.
Okay.
The 2011 BMW 335i, blue, no front bumper. He has the plate number T923 Kilo Alpha.
Okay.
The
So
Utah plate.
what's going on in this vehicle?
He's DUI.
Okay. Do you know that is he driving?
Yes, he grabbed his keys and left my house. He's drunk.
Okay.
He's also a minor. He has 3 other minors with him. And he has alcohol in the car. It helps. He was doing 80 on Riverdale.
Okay. It looks like I
He's
might have
at-
a trooper behind him. So.
He's at 1900 West. He's probably going to be going south.
So this
Yep,
is a 911 call.
Yep, I do have a trooper behind him.
Perfect.
And the caller has the suspect vehicle's tracking information. I don't know if he's tracking by iPhone or something in the
He
vehicle.
is going to run.
Okay, and I did let him know he is going to run.
He's going westbound on 5400.
Westbound on 54?
Yep.
Don't drink and drive, folks.
Okay, looks like he's getting they're attempting to pull him over now.
Perfect. Like I said, I have his live location if he tries to pull away.
Okay.
He's speeding up. He's running. He's running.
He's running.
70 miles an hour. 1950 West. 5300. He's coming eastbound on 53. Back to 1900 West.
At least he signaled.
He's doing 70 miles an hour on.
Well, if he didn't signal, his friend will let the law
Riverdale.
enforcement dispatch
Yep,
know.
he's doing 85
On
Be a great
Riverdale?
dispatcher.
on Riverdale. 5300 South Street. 91 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah, my deputy is trying to follow him, so.
107.
Dude,
107
call
miles
in
per
the
hour.
chase.
Yep, Riverdale Road.
My vehicle, I'm 10-4.
It does appear that the picket fence suffered no damage. This was a positive thing of the whole incident.
I was very worried about the pen. Whoa, what?
Shots fired.
And there's some historical information on that, where it happened. No one was actually killed in the accident, but surely people went to jail. And don't worry, the underage minor that was in the vehicle also confirmed that the driver had consumed alcohol beverages. So this this prosecution, it was pretty solid. Okay, there's the video. Lawyer Joe, what do you think? You have a case in court on this, or do you suggest that your client plea?
Oh, I'd absolutely tell him to flee. But I'm just like all of this for a drunk driver that at first was not speeding. I mean, seemed to be driving. It's not safe to be drunk, obviously, but I'm just like, all of that, dude, just pull over. Speeding.
So give me that again. You think that the driver should have just pulled over?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I
Well, at
understood
first
that.
I'm like, why are we? I'm like, why are we going through such a fuss? It's a drunk driver. Yes, it's a big deal, but it wasn't like the dude was like at first driving through people's yards and shit. He was just driving drunk, so you could just followed him until. But as soon as the cop tried to pull him over, from there on out is where I'm like, dude, I'm not even going to defend you, period. But like, just pull over. The worst you're going to get is so you got a DUI, but now you've got fleeing, you've got I don't know how much in property damage, you've got assault, vehicular assault. I mean, it's just a dumbass.
Big issues. Yeah, you're right. What do you think, Jason? And welcome to the show.
Thanks. I would have terminated the pursuit right initially. I would not have had my officers pursue him. I'm a little shocked that rounds were fired in the middle there. Like, this was just a train wreck all the way around.
I looked up that myself. I didn't see any information. I couldn't find any information on the disposition of the officer in this investigation that I know ensued after this. But I was a little surprised about the shots being fired. In fact, I want to make it around the room and maybe come back to that, Jason, and let's talk about shots being fired into a vehicle. It can be done lawfully, but there's some particular things about that. Use of deadly force, I should say. John, and then Big Ron, let folks in the space know we're coming to them next. Have their questions ready to go. Big John, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, even though the policy said, or our policy says you could chase, I don't know that I would have chased them. Yeah, I don't. I mean, you need to get them off the street, but I think if anything, I would have. I'd have followed a little bit longer just to see what they was going to do. But I mean, it's run into a liability there also. But and then the shots being fired. No, that car was past him at that point.
I agree. I think there's a lot of liability issues for the city or agency that's conducting this pursuit. TC.
Hey, thanks. The pursuit was initiated off of a phone call. And I know we're going to come back and focus on a little bit more, but did anybody see anything that really would have triggered the stop other than the phone call?
That's what I was saying. There was at first you're just watching him like the dude driving slow. I didn't see him swerving or anything, so I don't think if the phone call wouldn't happen, honestly, the cops, depending how far the kid was going. Not that it's okay to drink and drive, but
no, not at all.
There was nothing egregious that I think the cops would have picked up on if he continued to drive the way he was.
I will tell you that phone calls or 911 calls for suspected drunk driver are very, very common. In fact, they're so common that a lot of times officers aren't able to even make it to the area or make contact where a suspected intoxicated or drunk driver are. In this case, it was a bit different. The actor had left the caller's home, and the caller had a tracking ability and even be able to determine the speed of the vehicle, which I would also say that probable cause come in on some of his speeds. He had reached speeds before lights were engaged that were most likely unlawful there. But Big Ron, let's go to some questions inside the space. What did y'all think about the video, and have you had a chance to go over it?
Yeah, I had a chance to go over it. I was watching it while it was going on, and I was kind of surprised with those shots being fired too. I didn't really see probable cause for that, but I'm not a cop. Anybody in the space got any ideas they want to throw out here, guys?
Yes, sir. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. As a convicted felon, I will throw this out there. Sometimes when the cops catch you, whether or not you are guilty, you need to just pull the fuck over, put your blinker lights or your emergency lights on, and get over as soon as you can. Now, do I agree with this shooting or not? No, I do not. But I do not blame the shooter for that, because if there was warnings out and there was an exigent, exigent,
If there was an emergency,
yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
hey, don't worry. That word hangs up quite often.
Yeah. I mean, if that was the case, then you know what, we can talk about what was right or wrong later. But at the end of the day, here's the thing: we're all quarterbacking this video. We're quarterbacking this 911 call, and we wasn't in that moment. Now, do I, from the outside looking in, do I agree with it? No, sir, I do not. But none of us were in the moment. Yeah, I mean, so that is my thought, sir.
That was Mr. Joe.
I don't know. I hear this argument a lot that we can't Monday morning quarterback. We can't look at things in hindsight. And I mean, but that's untrue. That's every single criminal case out there. Everything is always hindsight. Everything is always, if you want to, Monday morning quarterback. And it's how we've come up with things like the Graham standards. And the courts have established the Graham standards specifically to address police use of force, in particular, deadly force. And I just don't see how the Graham factors in this case would apply, would allow for the application of the use of deadly force in this situation. So I think we're entitled as citizens to Monday morning quarterback these situations. Otherwise, anybody in a position of authority can kind of do whatever the hell they want to do, and you don't get to ask questions.
Well, I think what we talk about on the go ahead inside the space there, Joe.
I would like to push back a little bit on that. It's not just about Monday morning quarterbacking. If you've ever been in that situation, how would you react? And it's not about, hey, look, we see these videos, we see how it actually went down, but how would you react if you were in that fucking situation, sir?
Well, I've been in deadly force situations and I used it appropriately. So, and that was not.
I mean, same. But if you're going to ask a jury of your peers, which is 12 random motherfuckers that they're supposed to, give you, like, how would they give that? There might be one or two people like us that has had to actually use deadly force, but 10 out of 12 ain't never been in that situation. So how would they perceive that, and how do you talk to them to tell them, this is how we do shit, and this is how we respond? So
because that's why they bring in use of force experts, people who understand the use of force continuum, and why we have a different standard for reasonable officer expectations versus a reasonable person expectation. And in this situation, a reasonable officer is going to keep their emotions and their anger and their frustration under control, and they're not going to use deadly force in a situation where it's not called for. And I'm not saying the officer doesn't have a right to be mad. He just doesn't have the authority to deploy the deadly force in that situation when there is no clear evidence that there's a direct threat to the officer. The vehicle was basically stopped. He did not have.
Correct.
Okay, I tell you what. Let's pause. We've got a lot of videos to get through, and we're going to go back and forth. I think when officers
Hey,
speak,
Joe. I'm sorry. Can I interject real quick? TC
ahead.
brought up the Graham factors, and I'm guessing a lot of people probably don't know what that is in Graham versus Connor. So I was just going to really quickly tell them it's the way courts evaluate use of force, and there are three factors. It's the severity of the crime, whether the suspect posed an immediate threat, I think, and then whether the suspect was resisting or trying to evade. So those three things are considered when police use force. Those three things are considered to determine whether the use of force was proper or not. I just wanted people to know what was going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
I
you,
had
Joe.
something to add too, there, Joe. The guy
Let's
who
do it.
was on the phone, I don't know if that was his dad, or obviously he had one of those Verizon things where it shows, like, you know, if your car needs an oil change, or it shows you like how fast it's going and where it's at. I've seen that. I've had a vehicle with that kind of where you add it in there, but that was a hoe ass move. You know what I mean? Like, man, if I had a couple of beers and you called the police on me like that, we'd be some furniture moving as soon as I got back. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying it's good to drink and drive, but that was a hoe ass move.
I will say I started that. If you've got friends in Utah, I hope it's not this guy, because not only did he report the drinking and driving, the underage, that he had a minor in a vehicle. In Texas, that makes it a felony if you're intoxicated operating a motor vehicle on a public roadway with a minor in custody. And
Child
he reported his
endangerment.
speed. Yeah. So there were some issues here. Yeah, but let me go back to the Monday morning quarterback. The term that we use that for is you can't come back and apply facts that you know after the fact as factors that a police officer should have taken into account that he had no way of knowing at the time. Now let's go back to this use of force, in my opinion. Then I'll go to Jason. I want to get to the other videos. We have a lot of videos to get to tonight. But as a general rule, someone fleeing from you is not deadly force. Usually is not something that's going to be in your quiver as an arrow that you can shoot. I believe that officer would have some issues maintaining employment at the agency that I work for that fact right there. Now you couple in the other information that the officer should have known. It should have gone out over the radio that there's possibly a minor child or a minor individual inside the vehicle as well that has nothing to do with this offense or fleeing. If they're a passenger in the vehicle, their safety becomes an issue that you're going to have to deal with as well. And banging off rounds into a vehicle, I don't think goes that route. So I don't believe that. No one was hit with gunfire, but the popping off the rounds is pretty tricky. I would even say using the vehicles as rams in this situation could have gotten officers into some hot water as well. But what do you think, Jason?
Yeah, vehicles can be considered a deadly force if they're being used in a certain way. In fact, a shooting I was in, we shot the guy because he was actively and intentionally going after trying to run over one of my partners. The vehicle being used in that manner where he's trying to kill somebody, now it's a deadly, that crosses the threshold. In this case, I didn't see any deadly force justification to fire rounds. And then as far as the officers ramming him, again, it's the fruit of the poisonous tree. You go back to why are we stopping this guy in the first place? And that's why I said I would have discontinued the pursuit altogether. It just turned into a shit show at that point. And I've been in a lot of pursuits before too, and you can tell when you're losing control of the situation. I think I personally would have backed off because that person is now putting other people in jeopardy, and you're the one pushing him to do it. And there's been a lot of cops in trouble because they didn't terminate a pursuit and an innocent person got killed. And if the cops would have just backed off, does the driving behavior change? So pursuits are very problematic, and you better have your I's and T's crossed because you can get jammed up.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jason.
And at the very least, they go to the range.
Well, I think he might need to get him a concealed handgun license and carry that as a civilian, in my personal opinion. Here's another factor on this that whoever was in charge of this pursuit that should have chimed in is that we know who this person is. We know where he's going. We're tracking him literally by his vehicle. You could have pulled that off and met him at home and effected an arrest in that manner. But I think that was improper use of force by a police officer. That's Joe Lanew's vote on that in night court tonight. Okay, this one is going to be my favorite one of the night. I did put it in number 2, and I'm regretful. I should have put it in as the last video, but it is what it is. But this is absolutely my favorite one. It is a carjacking out of Kentucky. Happens fast, so tune in.
Joe, hold that before you play it.
Hey, everybody in the space that are newcomers, welcome to the space. Make sure you guys check the purple pill, lower right-hand corner of the space. List of all the videos are there. That way you can follow along. We're getting ready to start video number 2.
Hey, you bet, guys. And also, if you're coming to that space, retweet that again. Let's try to get our numbers up. We lost our live feed this morning because of some Texas weather between Kingdom and I. So we'd like to try to get our numbers back up. If you retweet that, that'd be great.
And if you're watching on my stream, share it out so we can get some more coverage for this wonderful network, by the way.
Say that one more time.
If you're watching on one of my streams, please make sure you are sharing it out and hitting the like button and subscribing to the other people or following them on Twix.
You know what? TC is much better at this than I am. But yes, all you folks that are watching this off of X platform, give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a follow, and share it. Let's try to spread the word. We've got some good videos coming up and great commentary. We even have a criminal attorney in here that tell us how all us police officers do it wrong. Here we go, folks. We're going to
don't forget to donate to the Phil, buy some Phil some guns. 5% of all the proceeds do go to him after the 5% administration fee has been handled. So we do have the donate to Phil.
Absolutely. Donate to Phil. Phil needs guns fund. 95% goes to administrative fees, and 5% absolutely will be donated to purchase more firearms for his gun safe. All right, guys. Now I'm going to the video. No more interruptions. We're going to it now. Here we go.
Police! Give me your hand! Give me your hand! Shots fired! Shots fired! Fuck. What is your deal, bro? Send somebody back here. I just tried to get robbed.
I wouldn't go rob you.
What's your name?
Mark.
What?
Mark.
Send cars to me. Somebody's trying to rob me. Call 911.
Underwear.
That's my baby daddy. Did you just shoot my baby daddy? He's trying to rob me. Get me back here. I got somebody showing up. Stay back. There's a gun. Stay back.
Baby daddy, my son's in the car.
Okay.
Did you just shoot my baby daddy? Did you shoot my
Get on the main channel. Stop. Get back now. Get back now.
I have no weapon.
Okay, get back.
But where's he shot? Where's he shot?
Right here, Prill. Right here.
Did you call an ambulance?
They're getting it now.
Did you call an ambulance? Mark, is he dead? Did you call an ambulance?
That's Mom.
That's my son's in the back of the car. That's my baby daddy. I know it has
On front channel, just
Ma'am, stand over here.
Which way they go?
Hey, is there anything?
Mark!
He's down. Start EMS this location.
Is he done?
Matt, check on him.
All right. Which street are you on?
Stand over here. Stand over here. We're gonna try to help him. Stand over here. We're in the rear address. What's that?
And then look together and tell us where you're at and if you're injured.
I'm okay. I'm gonna be in the rear of 2200 block of Griffiths.
Mark! Mark!
Please stand over here.
Anybody else need it?
Okay. Matt, you want me to start on him? Yeah, go ahead.
Start on him. I'm not gonna touch nothing. Baby!
What's his name?
Baby, his name is Mark.
Mark
That's
what?
my name, Mark Jaggers.
Do what?
Mark Jaggers.
Mark Jaggers.
Is he dying? Can I please
Do what?
stay
We're
next
getting
to him?
EMS started.
Can I please stay next to him?
No, stay back because we got a gun right here. He's gonna get EMS
Will
over
you
here.
touch it? I don't want it. Will you
We gotta
move
leave it where it is.
That's my baby daddy.
one ran
Please.
off. I didn't get it.
Please.
Negative. Only one accounted for. Get EMS over here.
Please. 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 Can
One
I
down. I'm
touch him?
10-8-6.
Please, can I touch
No,
him?
just wait. We're gonna get EMS because he's gonna be working on him.
Where'd
Okay.
you shoot him?
Do what?
Where'd you shoot him?
Man, I don't know right now. That's what we're gonna
Mark,
get.
baby, I love you, Mark! It looks like he's dying, man.
I know he's getting all the EMS stuff right now for him. Okay. We're gonna get him working on him. We will. What's his name? Mark Jaggers. Okay.
That's my baby daddy.
Okay. We're gonna get him working on right now.
Please, that's my baby daddy. That is my baby daddy. I can't. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're right here. Here, step back over here.
Please,
You just pass this up, Jack.
please save my
Come over
baby
here.
daddy.
Come over here.
What's your name? That's my baby daddy.
What do you need? What do you need?
Hey man, talk to me. Probably a seal. North-south alley, yeah, 2200.
North-south alley, right behind 2200 Black and Bridge.
Give me a chest.
I'm gonna turn the audio down while this plays out. They're gonna administer some aid there. I do want to see the very end of the video, just the visual of it.
Hey, just talk to me. I'm gonna
Jason, what do you think? These guys are sitting. Let me give the background on it. These guys are sitting on they're a fugitive task force, and they're sitting on surveillance, waiting to try to catch their person wanted. He's in a concealed area, sitting in his UC car. This guy jumps out of baby mama's car with a baklava on, and it's going to carjack him. And of course, he gets jacked right in the chest. He's got a gun in his hand when he opens the door. He gets jacked right in the chest, and then baby's mama comes up. Now, folks, if you'll listen, you'll hear the soon-to-be dead man's brother. That's his family, he says.
Here's some.
Start trying to give him.
Here you go, Jay, if you need gloves.
Hey, buddy, talk to me.
Here's gloves. Hey, watch out, the gun's right there.
Come on.
Watch the face of the guy doing CPR when he pulls off of it. And Jason, I want you to tell me what that face means.
Yeah.
Come on, hey. Talk to me.
He's gone.
He's not even doing good chest compressions. He's already given up.
One of y'all wants to switch.
Just watch the face when he goes to switch out.
Need anything for real?
Okay.
You were asking my
Let's
opinion on, sorry. The facial expression, he's gone.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is worthless. No reason to do it. Looks like he drilled him right in the chest and dropped him. But that young man was quite surprised to find out that pretty car belonged to the police. But yes, carjacked. He attempted to carjack. He didn't realize he was a police officer. It was an unmarked unit. They'll say it's undercover. I don't know if you would call that necessarily undercover, but it's definitely an unmarked unit sitting on surveillance, darked out windows. The suspect comes up with darked out face with a baklava on, pops open the door with the pistol in his hand, and gets drilled. The only conversation he has, like, dude, what are you doing? He said, you going to rob me? No, I wasn't going to rob you, but I believe it was a carjacking. The interesting thing is that the baby mama's dropping him off, and then she's mad. Everybody's mad at the police because they shot. What'd you shoot him for? Well, he had a gun. He was about to take my car at gunpoint. Exactly why good Americans carry firearms in their vehicles is for situations just like that, in my opinion. But let's go around the room. Let's go to Joe first. Go ahead, Lawyer Joe.
First, from a police perspective, why didn't they secure the firearm? They're just like, no, don't touch it. The gun's right there. I mean, as soon as you have a second cop on the scene, why don't you secure it as evidence? I mean, just leaving it lay there seems kind of dumb.
I'm going to throw something in on that. Is that is somebody who's set on surveillance in that kind of situation quite often, never that situation, but that it could have been that scenario, is that that's a holy shit moment. Like, this just really happened. You could tell by the traffic over the radio and everyone who's arriving there. Like, I mean, really what happened? We're just sitting on surveillance. There's no enforcement action. They're just watching is all they're doing. That was an oh shit moment. And I think they were more concerned to try to save the guys.
I get that. But with the baby mama quit screaming, that's your baby daddy. I'm sorry, but that was just, but
now, hang on, Joe. She had to talk loud because he was getting further away by the second.
I know. But the fact that he's like, no, you can't go over there. There's a gun over there. There's a gun. As soon as that second officer showed up, the first guy should have secured the weapon. I just think, I mean, I studied to be a prosecutor. I have a certificate in criminal law of concentration. That's what I was going to do. So I keep looking as a prosecutor's perspective. I mean, obviously it's a clean shoot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But just I want you to secure evidence. I want the chain of command to be very, very clear. But when you're telling people, don't go over there, there's the gun there, go, pick it up and secure it. That drives me nuts. I just see it as very reckless. And then the other thing is, why did it take so long for them to administer first aid?
Glad we got an attorney in the house. You're securing the scene, you're getting backup, you're getting baby mama backed off. And I promise you, it wouldn't take a very smart person with a lot of medical experience to say that whatever you do there is going to be for naught. He started to fade. That gentleman on the ground started to fade about the point when we said I wasn't going to rob you. Things started going different from there. His arms goes limps. He's in the Jesus Christ position there on the ground. He's leaving this world as they were speaking.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, I see it. And plus, I mean, he's got gunshot wounds to the chest. And I heard the second cop say, or the first one was like, what do you need? And he was like, give me a seal. And I'm like, that's probably too late for that. But okay, again, from like a prosecutor or someone who would represent cops in a situation like that, I want to see you trying. Like, I want to see on the video you try to put a seal on, I don't understand the doing CPR when you've got open gunshot wounds, but yeah, I don't know that part of it. I just know that from there, if I'm looking at it from someone who wants to sue cops, I'm like, look, they could have stepped in. I mean, I at least bring up an argument that you could have avoided. If you just,
I'll take that as an argument. I don't see it that way. I don't know that there was much they could do there. It appeared when they raised his shirt up that these wounds are not bleeding. I don't believe that's because they weren't deep. I think it's because that heart wasn't beating any longer. So
right.
Whatever aid they provided him there was not going to be for much. And
that absolutely, I get it. There was no practical
and they
reason.
did it.
But what I'm saying is
the second officer on scene, they get the bag out, they go directly into life-saving measures, the best that police officers can do. They're not paramedics. They're at best.
Oh, no, I get it. Actually, we have a local cop. I got to tell you this real quick. We now, instead of the sheriff's department, thank you, God, we have, we contract with city police next to where I live because I live in a township. And we had a cop show up on us. There was a 911 call. Farmer, like, cut his leg. He was trying to cut some shit down and, like, cut his leg with a saw. And the cop showed up, had a tourniquet on him, and had the dude totally stabilized by the time EMTs got there. It was amazing. I'm like, this guy knows how to use a tourniquet properly. The guy kept his leg. It was impressive. I'm just saying. All right.
Well, because you don't know a lot about police officers, that's the first aid they know. If you get a gunshot wound to the head, they're going to apply a tourniquet to your neck.
Joe, she has a certificate. Back off, dog.
That's also Marine. That's also Marine first aid.
Go ahead, TC. Give us your opinion on this, and let's work it around the room and get to the spacing. Get to the next video. We got some more tourniquets in our future.
Clearly a clean shoot, and there again, you have to be a really sharp eye in watching these videos on playback to even see it. But it was clearly a clean shoot. I too take issue when that second officer walked up. It took him way too long. When you are in the position of using lethal force, you also have a duty then to intervene as soon as you can secure that scene. And when that second officer walked up and had that scene secure, that officer should have gone, and one of them should have gone immediately to, at the very least, the appearance of applying first aid. And that was one of my big concerns in that was the trauma aid. And to me, it was lacking. I mean, there's probably not much they could do, but even the fact that he told someone to call 911 instead of calling for a bus, that's that TV jargon. He didn't call for EMS immediately. He called for his backup and then told a bystander to call 911 for the ambulance. No, there should have been an immediate call for EMS to that scene over police radio, and we didn't hear that for there was a delay. I don't remember exactly how long. And I don't think we ever actually saw him show up. So once you start first aid, by the way, like that, once you start CPR, you can't stop I don't know. Well, it might vary on state, but most states, when you are a first responder, you are not allowed to stop first aid and make the decision that the person's too far gone. That has to be done by a senior medical person, normally a doctor, even if it's en route.
Okay, let's keep in mind all these things that needed to happen. This whole video was 5.5 minutes. From start to finish,
Sure.
5.5 minutes. Sure. All these things that you just guys think law enforcement officers need to be getting down and doing as some sort of an obligation need to be assessment, action, assessment, securement, and life-saving measures, and have an ambulance on scene in 5 minutes. That's a pretty hard bar there, but I guess
I don't necessarily mean that the ambulance needed to be there in 5 minutes, but they did make a call. I mean, they gave up on the CPR, and once you start to render that type of aid, and I don't know about exact for every state, but I know in many states and jurisdictions, once you're a first responder and you start rendering aid, you don't end that rendering of aid until you are given this distinct order to stop by a medical professional.
They don't have the legal authority to call a death. So in some jurisdictions, they have to wait for someone who does, which is usually a paramedic or a nurse, or they get to the hospital. They just
a justice of the peace. A justice of the peace can call it death as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just in my jurisdiction, I'm used to like paramedics, but it has to be so. The cop is supposed to continue until there's someone there who has the legal authority to be like, stop, it's done. There's nothing you can do. So I agree with TC on that one.
Okay. I want to go to the space. We've got some hands up in the space. Let's get those questions going. I love it hearing from my audience in the space. I always feel on these Saturday shows or Friday shows when we do this that I feel like we neglect them. And I surely don't want to do that because I am loyal to my space fans. Go ahead, Big Ron.
All right. Evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to start off with, you could definitely see the color left his body quite quick. I've seen that video a couple of times before, and that police officer cleared leather quite quick and was accurate. I was kind of impressed. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Burton. And when we're done with Burton, we're going to roll right into Range Minded and then Joe. Burton, go ahead. What you got, buddy?
Okay. Joe, you're right on a point, but the primary purpose of a cop in that situation or the scene, he was trying to walk up there. There were things going on. He's by himself. He doesn't have backup yet. He's not going to walk away and secure the gun. He's not going to secure anything. He's going to try to keep her away and secure the scene. He's also not going to start first aid. The second officer gets there, can start securing, but he started looking at the guy laying on the ground. First one still got to secure the scene. It is not secure at that point. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on at that during that little 45-second or minute interlude that's going on that it's chaotic. Once other officers showed up and got baby mom out of the way, kept brother out of the way, then that started. On the medical part, the first aid I was taught is once you start CPR, you wait until an EMT gets there, and then they take over and you swap back and forth. But during that, I'm not going to start doing first aid while baby mom is screaming and have her stick a knife in my kid. It's not going to happen.
Can I comment on that, Joe?
Yes, Jason, you can.
He's right. In fact, when I was watching the video when the gal approached, I probably would have taken her into custody and secured her in the back of the car until we can get the scene secured. I think she was doing more of a problem than anything for the officer to follow through with his duties. So I would have contained her.
Was there a child in the car though?
I don't know.
Yes, that was the baby in mention.
Well, she kept saying my baby daddy, but I didn't know if the baby was with them because
She said, yeah, that's his baby in the car.
That's his baby in the car. And I applaud the officer for recognizing that, not taking her into custody. But at the same time, it added a level of complexity. He could not allow her to get close to that.
He should have probably had her sit in her car with the door open and her feet out, but sit with that child and not leave that child alone because that's shitty.
He wasn't good.
She wasn't listening.
That's a hell of
She wasn't listening, right? He was like, "Hey, stay over there, do that." She wasn't listening to none of that.
I must have missed something. I thought they switched off for CPR.
As a mom, though, I mean, for me as a mom, I'm worried about my kid, and then this dumbass who just jumped a cop. But I don't know.
I think Joe
worry.
said it all. The dumbass that jumped the cop.
But I mean, he did, so fuck him. But you've got a child in the car all by itself. I can't, as a mother, I can't see worrying more about somebody else than that. So I don't know.
She may have been in shock too.
Oh, I'm sure she was. The thought of taking her.
I'll tell you who else was in shock was that officer sitting there on surveillance who just banged out a dude to come and try to put a gun in his face sitting in the car. There's some shock on that officer's face.
I get it. I
Even
care
the
more about
arriving
the kid
officers,
than
if you look,
anybody.
even the arriving officers, you look at them, they're like, man, what happened? And that's what it was. Like, man, what the hell happened? We're just sitting here because I know what's going on. And Jason can back me up. They're talking, they're sitting out there for hours. They're eating snacks and drinking fresh drinks, and they're talking crap back and forth on the radio and calling out what they see. And now all of a sudden, this guy comes up out of nowhere and gets banged in the chest and dropped on the ground. And you've got this whole mess of a situation that's going on in front of them. I think we got some more questions, and we had 3 hands up in the room there, didn't we?
We got Joe and Range Minded left.
Yeah, let's go ahead, Range. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to those folks. And thank you. I'll come back to it.
Go on, Range. The floor is yours, buddy.
I was waiting for you, Joe. I had my breath. So, what a dynamic scene, right? Like an officer. I can't.
That audio coming out of the space is rubber banding very bad. Is it just me or is it for everyone?
No, I've got it on both ends, Joe.
It's just Range Minded has a bad connection. Let's try Joe.
Have him drop out and come back in if we can get him in quick.
Oh, sorry, sirs. You don't want me to jump into this shit because I agree with everything, and I think that there's some bad court decisions against that. I'm actually very high right now, so I'm just going to drop back down to listener and stay in my lane. All right, love you.
We appreciate you, other Joe.
Other Joe bringing the heat tonight.
Bringing the heat tonight.
Hell yeah, literally.
Burning the heat tonight.
Well, let's go to John Cox. How would you handle this in the great state of North Carolina?
I'd have done exactly what he did. I mean, you're back there in the middle of nowhere, and this come out of nowhere. He obviously wasn't expecting that, and then you've got that woman, and I get it, screaming and carrying on. The other thing I have found in the past is if you don't have to move the weapon, don't move it, because all you're doing is muddying the investigation. And having been in EMS and all that, you can tell when somebody's within seconds of leaving this earth, and if you start it, you're right, you can't stop it. There was limited resources, so if you're sitting there looking at a dead man, don't start it. Even though he did start, I saw another officer pick up. I didn't see anybody stop CPR. I don't, unless I missed something.
I don't know that we cut the video off a little premature to see that. Actually, the video shuts down about that point. But the officer on that was engaging in the chest compressions, he said, "Can somebody take over?" And that's when he got up. And what I noticed was that look on his face, like, yeah. Let somebody else do this for a minute. But it wasn't going anywhere.
What I'm really shocked is that even in that situation, it didn't appear that they had an AED, which even in 2023, it was pretty common for even tactical cars, if they have a trauma kit like that, because an AED could have told you no shock advised, which certainly gives you a heads up.
All right, well, we got range minded back.
Let's try range minded again.
I don't know that an AED is going to help this guy.
No, but the AED can help you in your assessment, because a lot of times an AED will tell you that there's no chances this heart's going to be restarted. They literally flat out can tell you that. They will announce. No
them
shock
holes in
advice.
that chest are a good indication that heart's not going to restart. But let's go back
I'm
into
not
the space.
arguing that.
All right, Range, the floor is yours, buddy.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
we got you loud and clear, Range.
baby, yeah.
All right. It's my turn to bring the heat. I'm trying to keep up with Joe. I'll never make it that far. Anyway, as a non-experienced police officer, right? I've never been on the beat, right? I don't think I could have handled the situation any differently. You know, watching that video, dude coming up, I would have put as many as I could in his chest to stop the threat. And I've taken trauma classes. I know I have a pretty good idea how to treat wounds. The dude was already dying. There's nothing he could have done to save that guy's life. And those compressions were just pumping whatever fluid he had in his body out. That's it. But with the mama there going crazy, that is a scary situation because she could have just, if he was there doing CPR, she could have just as easily picked up the gun or got something out of her car, and then there'd be 2 dead dudes on the ground. So securing the scene is tough by himself, and it looked like it was way rural, so he was out in the middle of nowhere. Didn't have a lot of support that was close by, which is kind of surprises me, but I guess they didn't think he was much of a threat at that point. I don't know. It's a crazy situation. It's one I hope I never find myself in. But I mean, what do you do? That's nuts.
Man, these guys are sitting on surveillance. There's probably 6 or 7 of them out there, but they're spread out. They're in different little peaky locations. We're covering roads and entrances in and out in case your suspect's in a vehicle when they leave. They're watching a house. These guys aren't sitting together 25 and talking about getting French fries in an hour. These guys are sitting on surveillance, and these things they're not supposed to know you're police, number one. So it's kind of a shock when something like that happens. But I'm going to give you a chance to respond to that, Range Minded. Then I want to go to Jason, and I want to get on to the next video.
Well, for sure, they had no idea who the cops were in this situation until it was too late for that guy. So I guess the department was doing good on that side of the aspect. And maybe did it say in the video if this was the dude they were casing out? Did it say anything?
No, he wasn't.
I didn't notice that in the video.
No, he was not the one they were looking for.
So they got a bonus, I guess. I don't know. That's crazy. Crazy situation.
Well, they blew their cover.
Well, I tell you what, I have just been notified very publicly that I'm ignoring our great producer, and that is not my intention. You jump right on in their kingdom and give us your comments on this video.
That's all I had to say, bro. I mean, that one was.
You go ahead and tell us whatever other obligation those poor police officers had in this situation, what they should have done right.
Yeah, I appreciate you respecting my opinion on this one. I don't know, man. I think you're sitting in there.
Okay, that's enough, Kingdom. You're done.
Your coffee and your donuts and stuff, and you're doing like police work and whatever, and then all of a sudden you have to shoot a dude. It's like, whoa, that might have been the first time in his career that ever happened. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I would have did anything different. That was a crazy situation where it's like my baby daddy. I don't know who. I mean, it's like you're obviously not a boyfriend, or it's like my baby daddy, and then obviously trouble's coming after you start referring to my baby daddy. You just shot him, and it was a crazy situation. But I think he did the right thing. He pumped him in his chest, and when he was sitting there responding, like, no, I didn't. Like he obviously wasn't dead, and the gun was in reach, and he was communicating verbally, but. I guess you just sit there and just kind of, take it, just keep an eye on him and keep an eye on her. I don't know what else you could have done right there.
You ever watch a fire go out? That's what was happening right there.
Yo,
you're terrible, dude. You're terrible tonight.
You can tell the people who have gallows humor and why they have gallows humor from shows like this. It's terrible, and we all understand it because we've all done it.
I've seen it. It's like the fire goes out. It's gone.
It's
you ain't bringing it back.
It's an army coping mechanism too. Like
her jumping out of the same car he did. I mean, she's a suspect too.
I tell you what, let's get to the man who's got the backbone and the fortitude to do this for 30 plus years. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that woman needed to be detained, and I'm going to let people in on a little law enforcement, not necessarily a secret. I've given CPR to a lot of people that I knew were dead just for the perception of it and the show of it. we know that this person's not going to make it, but we have to make the bystanders at least give the appearance that we're trying. But as we're doing this, we know this person's not coming back. So that's the one thing I want to add to that. And I agree with Joe too. I've been on surveillance many, many times, and the life-threatening moments I've been in my life, it happens quick and it comes out of the blue, and you're not prepared for it. I've walked away from many scenes and many calls where you kind of tell yourself, wow, that shit escalated really fast. You know, thank God I'm still here.
Yeah. And I'm impressed they had body-worn cameras on, because I think that went back to the minute and a half kick-up after he jumped out. He wasn't sitting there with his camera on.
Hey, I have a question for Jason. What do you do with the kid if, like, you've got dad's dead, baby daddy dead, and you're securing? I mean, I understand because she was kind of losing her shit, securing baby mama. What do you do about the baby?
As soon as an officer gets there, you assign the officer to the child.
I mean, I saw the female officer come around the outside of the car when she was talking to the.
Yeah, the mom's not in a state of mind to even care for the child at that time. She's doing no good for anybody. So I would have detained her, and then I would have had a second officer attend to the child when I got there.
Okay, thanks.
If we'd watched that another 3 minutes, we might have seen some of those things. This looked like officers are actually starting to get there and give him some assistance. But also, if you notice on the radio, he's trying to tell folks where he's at, because he's got himself tucked in. He's secret squirreling it. He's hiding back there. This fool shows up to carjack him. But good thing is that guy has Mark, I think it was. Mark hasn't carjacked anyone since that day. So he's learned his lesson, and he is completely repented. Let's go to our next video, guys. We got plenty to see. This one is out of Yuma, Arizona, and that's what I want to tell you about it. Yuma, Arizona. Here we go.
911, what's emergency?
There's been someone yelling and nonstop banging on the trailers nonstop for the past an hour and a half.
Okay, what's the address? Okay, can you hear if it's a male and female, or two males, two
It's a male. This guy's been yelling for nonstop for about an hour and a half. Like, I got off of work like 2 hours ago.
Okay, and is it a male yelling at a female?
No, he's just been yelling nonstop. He's banging on
Like by
doors.
himself?
Yep. Banging on doors, yelling at, I don't know what the fuck it is. But this guy's just, nonstop talking crazy shit.
Did you want contact from the officers?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I think there's something going on.
Okay, we have 2 officers dispatched. They're going to be on their way. If anything escalates, just call us back on 911, okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Please carry dispatch.
Yes, I need an officer as soon as possible. The neighbor that's behind me, he's throwing death threats to me and my husband and to our dog.
Okay. Is this going on right now?
Yes.
What's the neighbor's address? Okay, and is he just yelling this over the fence, or what is he doing?
Over the fence, and then he also has I don't know, a knife or a piece of broken glass or something. I don't know. He's crazy. You guys have dealt with him before.
Okay.
His last
What was he saying when you say he was threatening you? What was he saying?
Well, mostly he's saying it to my husband. I was over listening to everything. And we also have cameras that are placed up and just for our protection,
Okay.
And he's just throwing death threats because we have a deadline to clean up the yard and to fix the back fence. And so my husband's taking the back fence down to make it the size that the city needs. And he's getting mad about that.
Okay.
He's throwing out death threats to me and my husband, and he's also trying to throw out death threats to our dog.
See what?
Throwing death threats to our dog because we have a blue nose pitbull. And he's threatening to kill our dog and threatening to kill us.
You see that guy behind you?
Yeah.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's there right now.
Inside?
He's either outside, inside, but he's there.
Okay.
He's mentally.
Okay.
You know what? We have scanners too.
Hey, Steve.
What's up?
Hey, can you just go ahead, put those knives down real quick.
Nah, bro, I'm good.
Nah, hey, we just want to talk to you, right? But I'm not going to talk to you with niceness.
There are people intruding in my house.
And we're here to.
They broke in. Get
Okay.
into my house now.
Can we speak for a few
No, you
minutes?
can't. This is a Yakuza Black Nose Pitbull. Get away now for your warning and your safety.
Let's pause.
There are people in my house. Get in the house.
What?
And
Dude,
this one right here.
all right, can you put the
You
knives
have
down?
a gun? Use it, pussy.
Look, dude, we just want to talk to you, man.
Don't chase after me. I did nothing wrong.
Oh, can you tell us what's going on, man?
No, I can't tell you shit. You don't even know who the fuck I am. Get the fuck out of here. You're someone who has broken into my house, and why aren't you raiding the past?
Dude, you live here. I can't just barge into your house. I don't know who's in there.
Lord, forgive me. Never.
All right. Can you put those down and just come talk to me, man?
He's barricading himself inside of my house.
Okay, put
I'm
down the
protecting
knife.
myself from this crazy motherfucking lunatic
Steve,
robber.
Steve, put the knives down. We can
It's
figure.
on the bills. It's on the fucking.
Dude, Steve, just put them down, man. At this point, you're detained, man. You can't leave. Put the knife down so we can talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you. Stop following me.
Dude.
Kill you.
Steve, we just want
Are
to
you
talk.
chasing me? You're not detaining me, motherfucker. You'll die.
All right, dude. Bro, we just want to talk to you, all right? Steve.
My
Steve.
property is not allowed yet.
Bro, hey, dude, we just want to
Not
see.
allowed on my property.
Steve.
Not allowed on my fucking property.
Dude. We just want to figure out what's been going on.
I'm down, motherfucker.
Steve, just,
Why are you chasing me?
we're not. We just want to figure out what happened, bro.
You're detained, man. No, I'm not. You're under arrest and you're fired, bitch.
Steve. When I'm 12, we'll be walking towards the canal with that subject. All right, Steve, we're just trying to figure out what's...
There's a person in my house. He's an attacker.
All right, we want to figure out what happened. Let us help you.
Got his fucking tasers out.
We got police everywhere, man.
You're fired.
Well, he's walking north towards...
Drop that knife. My sister.
The last time I'm telling you, drop that knife.
No, it's not the last time. Give me the last time, motherfucker.
Steve, drop the knife.
Come on. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Stop bringing that knife. Come on. Drop the knife,
Put your
dude.
taser down, bitch. Put your fucking taser down.
Dude,
Stand down.
you're
officer.
detained. We're not letting you walk away, man.
Motherfucking
Dude,
puto.
put the knife down, all right?
Mártelo todo.
Steven.
Mártelo, mártelo todo.
Hey, stop right there, dude.
No, you stop right there.
Dude, drop the knife.
That will be done on this day. Give us the stay or daily bread. Give us our trust.
Dude, we just want to talk with you. I got non-lethal.
Lyrics me one man.
Steven, stop walking away from us.
President of the United fucking States in the world. Check that right now. Check that right now. No, you stop,
Dude.
motherfuckers. Fuck y'all.
Steven,
Fuck
stop.
y'all. What am I gonna do?
We just want to know what's going on.
You
All
can't
right,
tase me.
put the knife down.
Conversation
Drop.
here.
Steve, we're just trying to figure out what happened.
In my house. Why aren't you apprehending the thing?
Steven, I just found you placed under arrest, man. Drop that knife. You're under arrest.
You're not putting me under arrest, bitch.
Steven.
Stop.
Dude.
You gotta stop. Yeah, you do, bitch. You just hurt me. Hurt them.
You would have more cartridges?
I'm Stop.
Steven, I'm going to take you again. If you
We don't want to hurt you. You gotta stop.
Come on, Steven. You're under arrest. You're under arrest, man. Dude, stop walking away from us.
If I stop, will you not tase me?
Yes.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. We'll talk to you.
Right.
Sit down.
That way.
Sit down and drop it. We can talk to you. Stop, dude.
Don't tackle me.
We're not.
Tackle you.
Put the knives down and walk away from them.
Okay, I'll talk to you if you drop the knife. Slow it that way.
Put it down and
Slow
talk.
it that way.
Why isn't he detained? He's a child predator.
We'll
You're
go
a
talk
child
to him.
predator.
Hey, sit down and drop it
I've
now.
been raped.
We don't want to hurt you.
You're going to
He's
be paid again
fucking
if
me
you don't
up.
drop it. Who is that? Drop it. Dude, we've been just trying to talk to you this entire time. Put the knives down. Dude, you walked away from us with knives. Stop.
Down and we can talk to you. Stop, man. If you walk towards people, you're probably gonna get shot.
No, I'm not. Dude, no, stop.
There was more taser guards too.
We got
another unit coming off. Please keep a little bit of safe distance.
Steven. Bro, stop right there. Steven. Dude, stop.
No.
Dude, put the knives down.
Go and check under him. Fucking, I don't know who he is.
Dude, we've been trying to talk to you for the whole time. Dude, stop.
Hey, guy.
786 unit with the beam.
Hey, call in. Stop. Stop, bro. Stop. Not even hurting anybody. Right. Stop.
Dude.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Hold on. All right, get the
God damn it.
Stop. Drop the knife.
What? Crossfire. You got more taser cartridges? No.
No. No. Go and check my
God damn this guy.
Fucking, I don't know who he is. He's an imposter.
Stop, man.
Stop. Fucking imposter. Stop. Hey, guy.
Stop, man. Stop.
Unit with the beam.
Sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, I can't see my red dot.
Stop, bro.
Hey, bro, listen.
Stop.
Listen. Stop it. Stop.
Not even hurting anybody.
Hey, stop.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop.
Shots fired.
Put your hands up. Put
Hey,
your hands up.
hold up.
All right, get the knife.
Hey, bro, listen.
Stop.
Listen. Just stop it. Stop.
Not even hurting anybody.
Okay.
Hey, stop.
No.
Stop it. Stop.
Shots fired.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Hold up.
Hands up. Hands up.
I wonder how much for that refrigerator.
Stop, bro.
Hey, bro, listen.
Stop.
Listen. Stop it. Stop.
Not even hurting anybody.
Hey, stop.
Stop it. Stop.
Shots fired.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Hold up.
All right, get the knife. Hands up.
Hey, come on, man. Let's just talk. Let's just talk.
Not even hurting anybody.
Drop it.
Right. Stop.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Hold on. Get the knife.
There's the background on the call that's scrolling across the screen. I'll leave that up for a second. And let's go to that. I see some comments. A Veterans Affairs Media says, wait, I can't see my red dot within 10 feet. Do you need a red dot for that? I believe that's for the taser. Jason, do we need a red dot to deploy a taser?
I think he was referring to his gun. I don't think he was. The guy was looking down his barrel and said, I can't see my red dot. And he did have a red dot on his gun. But there is a red dot for a taser as well.
I thought it was the officer deploying the taser that was talking about the red dot.
Could have been. But to answer the question, they both have red dots.
I think a red dot's important on a taser because you're trying to get a center mass shot and a good spread on the taser. You're shooting out two probes. They're not necessarily going to fly straight. So it's a lot of times it's a crapshoot how you're going to hit with that taser when you deploy it and what its effectiveness is going to be. But I tell you what, I'm going to go keep going back to our attorney on the panel and give her first shot because we all know that the first liar in this group doesn't have a chance. So I'm hedging my bet against Lawyer Joe. Go ahead, Lawyer Joe.
That the shooting was 100% unnecessary. I'm suing everybody. Seriously. I mean, I mean, we all know that I have a very special, soft spot for people with mental disabilities since I have an autistic son who has some other issues. I have PTSD, know a lot of veterans that do. The guy was obviously having a mental break. And you had that many officers around him to see what he had in his hand. It looked like he had some, like, it wasn't even a knife. It looked like a post, like the bottom of like a spike post. But and then as soon as I was worried with the dog the whole time. I'm like, I don't care if everybody else dies as long as the dog's okay. But I'm very happy the dog was okay. Everybody else can ride now. But
If the ATF
shooting
had been there, that dog would have been in trouble.
what?
If the ATF had been there, that dog would
Well,
have been
no
in
shit.
trouble.
I'm not sure if the dog wasn't one of the 911 callers. It looked like he was pro police.
Well, he kept running back and forth, like, "Hey, dude, stop!" But as soon as the guy was obviously mental, right? He was not in his right mind in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't competent to be making
Agreed.
decisions. So 100%, when you tased him and you got him on the ground, there was no reason to shoot him at that point. You had like 6, 7 officers there. There was absolutely no reason to shoot him at that point. He was on the ground. He had dropped the weapon he had in his hand. He wasn't holding on to it. And then you start shooting. Nah, I'm out at that point. Absolutely not. That was not a good shoot. He was no longer a threat.
And he dropped the machete too. So,
Oh, he had a machete too.
well, it wasn't a knife. That was a machete.
What
And
it looked like he had? It looked like it was black and like it was almost dart shaped. Did I miss something?
I don't. It looked like the size of a machete to me. I don't know. It was not a knife.
No, it wasn't a regular knife, but like I said,
Well, I tell you what, let's go back and look at it. Y'all can keep talking. I'll turn the volume down.
at the very end, well, when one of the body cams had a really good,
They were circled, I believe. Let's go
Yeah.
here. You guys can keep talking. I'll find it.
there was one really good.
I guess that could have been a knife, but I don't. I don't know. It looked like a machete to me. But
There was a better angle than that. I forget which
Do
body
you guys
cam it was.
do you see it there laying next to his body, black handle with a silver blade or a light colored
Yes.
blade?
Yes.
Looks like a fillet knife, like when you're fishing.
what size of
knife,
fish are
maybe,
you?
yeah.
What size of fish are you filleting, Kingdom?
Dog, salt water. I'm in Houston.
Man,
on
we're
the
in
coast,
Texas.
though.
What do you think? You think our fish are small down here?
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas now. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
Joe,
go back
can you
to
go back a few body cams, like 1 or 2, just to see, because there was a pretty clear shot on one of them.
of
But
what?
either way, whatever it was he had,
What
it was
shot am I
obvious-
looking for?
Which one? I'm sorry.
A shot of what? That am I looking for?
The
I'll
weapon
find it for
when
you.
he
Talk.
drops.
Okay.
It was either, I want to say it was 2 or 3 that had the clear shot of whatever it was. I can't remember
I
exactly.
believe it was the last one where they're
Or maybe it
up
was.
close to it.
Yeah, right. It might have been one of the later ones. But either way, he dropped the weapon before. He was dropped with he was dropped with the taser, and then the weapon was down, and then somebody decides to start shooting.
Yeah, they just decided to start shooting. Probably close to lunch. Let's get this over with.
I'm serious.
Let's
But
go back and look at let's go back and look at the shots again, since we're bringing that up. I think that's a good point.
Joe is provoking Joe.
I
thought he
won't take that accusation any longer.
I thought he picked it back up.
What's not an accusation?
Okay. He's tased. Let me go back. He's tased. They get effectiveness on the taser. And he was just going to roll over so they could handcuff him at that point, I think. He wasn't rolling towards the knife that's on the other side that we saw in the video cameras. I'm sure of it. If we'd had somebody there, maybe a counselor, and a warm blanket and a glass of milk, this could have been resolved, I
The
think.
dude was mental, Joe.
You're wrong
I mean,
on that one, dog.
that's the,
Joe,
that's
you're
the,
yeah. This
that's
is
the
I'm wrong?
kind of shit that could happen to
Let's-
somebody like me or
Let's
my son.
watch the video again.
We can watch the video 1,000 times, but the culmination of the video is not where this went wrong.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, even if he would have picked the knife back up, you've got a circle of cops right there. What's he going to do? Get up and attack one? Then you shoot him. But while he's on the ground holding on to that weapon within the distance they were was not lethal to them at that point. and he was laying on the ground. So I am not okay with that shoot at all. And the first cop that starts shooting, and then the second one, I'm absolutely coming after them. There is no reason for the shoot. The guy was mentally ill. And I mean, and he, like I said, it was not like he had a gun on the ground where he could reach you at a 10-foot distance. He had a knife that he could not reach you at that distance. So, you know, keep tasing him. To hit him with spray, but they didn't need to shoot him.
Okay. And I think TC, you chimed in a little bit. Go ahead and get you a resting point there, and let's get to some other speakers.
This went way wrong well before this person. Somebody in that group needed to recognize that this was a person in a mental health crisis. And I'm not talking about, you know, sitting down and singing Kumbaya and eating a bunch of granola with this guy and hugging trees and loving bunnies. I'm talking about this guy's in a mental health crisis, and that doesn't mean you leave him be, but you start to approach it from a far different way, especially when you don't even know if there's been a crime committed. And sure, he's walking around with a knife, but there again, there's got to be a better way to resolve this, and they pushed it to the point where they were out of taser options. And I don't know. There had to have been a better resolution to this than tase and shoot.
I have an idea on it, Joe.
Okay, let's go to. I tell you what, let's go to our producer. What's your comments on that, producer?
Well, I tell you what, I think the fucking cops were scared of the dog when he was like, "My dog is a tag dog, and my dog is going to kill you." They weren't running after him. Because, you know, whenever you start to make some kind of an altercation, usually the dog senses and they'll protect them, the master in this case. And then when they had him on the ground and they had him with the taser, you seen the dog kind of come up to him and see what was going on. I think they were fucking scared of the dog to get in. The dog
took off. As soon as he hit the ground at first, the dog heard the shots. He took off, like back, like that ain't my guy. I'm somebody else's dog now.
I'm telling you that dog was
objection,
police.
Your
I'm
Honor.
pretty sure that dog was one of the 911 callers.
Like he kept running up to the guy, but then he'd run back to the cops and run up to the guy. He wasn't attacking anybody.
When they tased him and he was on the ground, you see a video of the dog running up, like right in the within a. The dog could have been hit by one of the bullets.
Okay, we did the producers. I thought we'd get some thoughtful insight, but we're talking about the dog. Let's go to Big Ron. Got 3 hands up in the space.
Talking about the cop scared of the dog.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to remind everybody that these videos are in the pill for those newcomers that we've had jump into the space. So when we get ready to go to the next one, our host will call out that number. Just go to that purple pill and you can watch that video with everybody else. With that being said, we're going to roll to world news, then the Grizzly, and then we're going to drop down to James. World, you got the floor.
Well, I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
We got you 5 by 5.
All right. Yeah. Well, I see the problem way before that. You know, you had 6 officers there by the end of it. We're looking at right when there was only 2 officers up there. Only one of them should have started doing the talking. By the time they got to the canal, there was 5 people yelling at this guy. You know, who's he going to listen to? I mean, you're confusing the guy. You know, and if he's mentally ill, you're not helping it. You know, you're not helping it by dividing it. Who is he going to listen to? He's yelling at this guy. He's yelling at that guy. You know, in his response, he wasn't just yelling at one officer. He was yelling at everybody that was yelling at him. So I think that whole approach right there was a failure to begin with. Okay, he's walking away. He won't drive. He did have 2 items, though. He did have a knife and a black object, black pointy object, I noticed. But the thing was that as he was walking away, that's fine, but there should have only remained one person in contact, one person doing the conversation, one person doing the negotiation, so to speak. Because then you know where he could have actually used other tactics, maybe even try to you know, a better chance of de-escalating with the guy just focusing, talking on to one person, hearing only one person. You know, you're not going to divide, you know, confuse the guy. And I think, you know, he was moving away from a group of people Whereas if one guy was talking from the beginning, he might not have been so evasive, you know. Because but when you got 4 or 5 guys coming at you and they're all yelling at you and you're not mentally stable, you may take this as a threat to yourself. You know, I mean, you know, we're going with the instability thing because it's clear that the guy was not, you know, healthy. Okay, mentally.
And he did say, if I give myself up, would you please not shoot me again with that taser? So he was kind of making a going towards that.
But I think it could have been de-escalated a lot sooner in that altercation. Whereas if you know, like a negotiator type, you know, if one guy steps up and he's a communicator, you know. He's the one who's going to tell the other officer to go, you know, you got my back, or go flank right, flank left, or whatever, because he's got this guy's attention. But when you got this guy, he's seeing 4 or 5 people, so now he's constantly scanning 4 or 5 people to see who's moving. But if you got one person in contact with him, he's focused on that one person that's talking to him. Other guys can make you know, moves, you know, to surround them or corral them, you know, where they remove that element by everybody getting in on the conversation. That's just my opinion. Anyway. What do I know? I ain't no cop either, but I grew up in a family of cops. So my father was a cop. I got 2 uncles that were cops. So I had all of their friends as like step uncles. So, I grew up pretty blue flame.
Let's break that down real quick, and we'll get to some other hands. I do want to welcome WT into the show. He has a channel on Rumble. You should give him a follow and check out his live feed on Rumble. It's interesting, and you get some free news broadcasts there too. A little hint for you. But I kind of saw it where the first officer arrived and tried to engage. He was calm. He tried to engage with a little bit of CIT, I think. But it's kind of hard to build a rapport with a guy with a knife that's in a high agitated state and walking away from you. They didn't close distance on him until the very end. So I don't know. It's a bad situation when you're dealing with someone with a mental illness. It's almost a no-win situation. But Jason, you're familiar with CIT, and I believe you're actually an instructor on it. Why don't you give us your opinion on this?
Yeah, I am. I thought the first officer, when he arrived, did a good job. You got to keep in mind too, you have a mentally ill person that is wandering the streets with weapons. It puts the officers just can't walk away from that, because if they walk away and this guy does something to hurt somebody, now the officers didn't do their due diligence to secure that place. So they got to control the scene. This is another example of why I love tasers so much. I think the officers need the correct tools. And in this case, a pepper ball or a rubber round would have probably ended it pretty quickly. But I just don't trust tasers, and it's a false sense of security for the cops. As far as
dependency.
Yeah, cops actually, when tasers came out, it was it kind of made cops like feel invincible, and all of a sudden you learn that these aren't working, and you're back to what your training brings you. But I don't carry a taser. I haven't carried a taser in years. But the shooting, so you have 5 guys going up around the suspect because the suspect went down. I can see typically when you have 5 officers approaching somebody and one shot goes off, there's this chain reaction, and I think that's what we saw. So if the one body cam, the officer is walking up and looking from his point of view, the suspect made an assertive movement, whether that be get on his stomach or he was reaching for something. But from his point of view, I could see that officer thinking he's reaching for the knife. And then you have this chain reaction to go on after that. But as far as mental health calls, there are some mental health calls that it is impossible to de-escalate. I was laughing when Joe said maybe we should send a counselor in, because I was thinking the same thing. It probably would have been a worse scenario. But yeah, I've been to a lot of calls like that, and it's I I don't fault what the officers did. I thought it started out well. I don't think they had the right tools to end it a better way. So I'll leave it there.
It worries me very much that the whole it was a chain reaction. That I mean, it's been found that Jason and I tend to agree on most things, and this we do not, because the whole it's a chain reaction thing lets me know that they're not capable of critical thinking on their own. So the first one shoots, and oh, we're shooting now. Okay, cool. No. Somebody has to be the adult. Somebody has to like understand what's going on. It was just, mentally ill guy on the ground reaching for something, we got to all shoot him. I mean, that I'm suing the whole department. I'm serious. I'm suing every cop there, the entire department. I'm pulling Modell claims out of people's asses. It's just, it's insane. And like I said, as someone with complex PTSD and having a son with a mental disability, it scares the shit out of me that that's how cops think. Well, they might do something. They're on the ground already, and there's more of us, and we have more tools than that person does, and they're mental, but let's shoot them.
That's not how cops think. They didn't jump in their cars that morning and say, hey, let's go kill somebody.
What
I'm saying is that if you as an attorney wants to sue. I mean, that's what the process is for, and let it work out in court. That's fine.
But I mean, they took the life of a mentally ill man when they didn't have to.
I was going to save this to the end, but let's don't forget there were 2 911 calls. There's a man that was walking around with at least one knife, and maybe I think it was a machete and a sheath is the black item that we're talking about. Now he's not stopping. They're not getting a report. They're not able to engage him and try to walk him off the ledge. He's continuing to walk around. He's not walking around the woods. He's walking around a neighborhood. I know it's only trailers and these are poor people, but they still have a right not to be stabbed by a crazy guy. So at some point, law enforcement officers have got to take the public's safety at large, and that means that this mentally ill person's safety is going to take a back seat. And I don't disagree with what the officers did there. The sympathy fire there at the end, that is literally reaction time and brain processing. I think they all saw not the opportunity, but they all saw the need for deadly force at that point because everything else had failed. I don't think you can. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. I'll give you an opportunity. You can't walk around with a social counselor in your back of your squad for the occasions that these are needed. There's a call for service. Officers respond. They do get CIT training, and I'm going to let Jason go into a little bit of CIT training because we've had some questions from YouTube and some of the other platforms on what that CIT training actually
Did Joe cut out,
involves.
or am I cutting out?
You must be, Grizz. I can hear him.
I don't hear him. I don't hear him either.
I'm hearing Joe fine. Joe's 5 out of 5 for me.
I'm having in the space. We having trouble with audio with me.
No, you're good in the space, Joe. I think it's Grizz that's having the issue. Everything else is solid.
All right. But my point is that at what point do officers have to take some action just for public safety? He's walking through alleys. He's now turned back looking maybe a baseball park or some sort of
Grizz, go ahead and
area
drop I'll bring it back up.
In a canal area. And now he's heading back into where people live. And these people who are the ones who called the police. He definitely was having some sort of a mental issue, and he was in mental crisis. But at what point does the public safety at large, like we like to talk about, to protect and serve, when does that come into place when a law enforcement officer has to use force? I guess is my point with that.
But Joe, you have 5 officers on scene. This guy is contained. He's contained. Even if he's walking around.
Hold up now. Let me challenge you. For a guy who's contained, he's sure moving around a lot. There was no containment there.
Containment does not mean he's not moving. Containment doesn't mean he's not moving. Containment means you've got eyes on him from every direction, and it's imperative, especially with people with in a mental health crisis, especially with people, and we don't know if any of these officers were CIT trained. You would hope so in our society today, and I know Jason would back me up on this. It is a critical skill that every single damn cop needs to have. They need to get training in this. Absolutely should be mandatory. Their funding should be tied to every one of their officers being trained in CIT. And it should be frequent and it should be constant throughout their year during their mandatory training. But you've got this guy contained. You've got 6 goddamn officers there, 5 or 6 goddamn officers there. This guy is not going to get away. You talk to him until he dies of boredom, for the love of God. if that's what it takes. But you don't just start popping the taser on them because you're getting tired of dealing with it. And that's what this fucking came down to. They were tired of dealing with it. They didn't want to deal with it anymore. And they tased him, and that backfired, and maybe he reached for the knife, and then they said, oh shit, now we got to shoot him. And maybe they didn't get up in the morning to do that, because I'll back that up all day long. I don't think there's 98% of them that end up in a use of force situation. They get up in the morning and say, I want to go kill somebody. I don't believe that happens. As critical as I am, I don't believe that happens. But in that situation, they brought that deadly use of force on because they didn't want to take the time to ride it out. And if you walk 5 miles with that guy, you walk 5 miles with him until you get him the help he needs.
Okay, I had something else to say, like to Joe. You've set up an ambush before. I know you have. Even I learned how to do that in stupid ROTC classes that I had to take since I recruited the little fuckers. But anyway, I mean, you set up an ambush. You had what, 5, 6 cops at least. You couldn't send 2 or 3 around. I mean, I understand he was going kind of fast and it would have been more difficult, but you had cars. You had other people that, one, could have gone around. But once you've got him circled, that's where I do agree with Jason. A pepper ball would have settled that situation right then. He'd have been down, he'd have been out. You could have cuffed him, called for an ambulance or whatever it was he needed. That could have been, that would have just been better. I think those kind of things need to be thought out. And Jason's right. The right tools will make the situation work. And they didn't have it. They had tasers and then they had guns.
But did you hear the dispatcher ask if anybody had a beanbag gun?
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, she was on the radio asking if anybody had a beanbag gun, and there was no one on duty that had a beanbag gun.
See, that sounds like a lack of preparation to have the right tools too.
But you got to work with what you've got. I'm sorry, sir. Hold on a minute. Let me run and get a beanbag gun.
And I agree. I think that tasers are effective in the movies, and I think they're effective for some reasons. But a beanbag gun, rubber bullets, and pepper ball is extremely effective because it deals a little bit of pain, and there's an after effect with the pepper dust. I think those are extremely effective and takes the fight out of folks that even in mental crisis.
We've been watching the cops do that with all the protesters at the universities with rubber bullets and with like pepper balls. That, I mean, it shocks you enough to take him down, and there were enough cops there to make sure he wasn't fully contained at the time. So I think the shooting was unnecessary and excessive, and had they had the right tools, this is where I come back to agreeing with Jason, it wouldn't have ended like this. Out of all those 5 or 6 cops, not one has like access to non-lethal other than a stupid taser. I mean,
and I got to push back on you a little bit, Joe, because you said every person there thought that shooting this guy was what they needed to do. But the first body cam, the guy had like a nightstick or a billy club or whatever the hell the thing's called. When he hit the ground with the taser, he came after him with a billy club. Did you see that on the first body cam?
That I did. But I think he's also the guy who started shooting first. Either one or two is the one who started shooting first. And I didn't say they all wanted to shoot him. But
no, I was talking about Lanu.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get on that, Joe. Get on him.
Stop defending him. Objection.
I'm not defending him. I thought you were talking to me, Joe.
Right, let's make a distinction. That is lawyer Joe. Big Ron, do we have any more hands up in the space?
Yeah, I've got a couple more hands up in the space, and I'd also like to remind everybody, if you enjoyed this content, want to see more of it, make sure you follow your host and your co-host so we can keep this stuff going. We'll go ahead and go to James real quick, and then
follow all of the panel members. Damn it!
Actually, everybody on the panel for sure. And
my
folks,
apologies, gentlemen and lady.
Also, we've got some YouTube channels that need some subscriptions out there. The Joe Lanu and TC. If you'll put your in the comments, TC, if you'll put your YouTube channel up in there, we'll blow that out for folks as well. But we could use some subscribes on those YouTube channels. Go ahead in the room, Big Ron.
I will even put yours in there.
Well, put it in the private chat, and I'll put it on the screen.
Done.
All right, Grizz, can you hear us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, brother, you got the floor. Then we're going to roll down to James, and we'll hit the next video.
So I'm not a cop. I have more questions than comments. But Jason, Joe, lawyer Joe, addressed actually my question. And one of them was, it seemed to me during the video that like the cop coming from there was a vehicle parked where the guy was walking toward, right? So if that cop had just walked up the sidewalk, there's a cop on either side of him, you could have stopped egress right there, right? And the whole thing isn't spreading throughout the neighborhood. That was number one. Number two, if you got 5 cops there with guns trained on a guy and he's around and rolls over for a knife, that's not life. Like, what's he gonna? He wasn't a particularly or agile individual that was going to grab the knife, jump up, and rush somebody. I mean, he might have, but certainly you would have had plenty of time to stop. So the fact that he rolls or reaches out for a knife is.
Whoever's talking is breaking up terribly for me, and I can't.
Yeah,
hear
Grizz,
them.
the audio is rubber banding real bad for you, my friend. I
Yeah,
think what Grizz
that's-
is saying, from what I can hear, is that there were enough officers there that once the suspect had been tased and fallen to the ground, that they had enough there to overpower him with strength, and that it wasn't a deadly force situation because there was enough of them, despite there being a knife within reach. But guys, I think we can beat this one up. And forgive me, John, did we get a chance to go to you? Or I'm sorry, Big Ron, how many more hands we have up in there? Let's get to everybody in the room.
I've got James with his hands up, and World News. Do you still want to talk, or is your hand just showing stuck on my screen?
He was waving high five, waving high.
Copy high five. James, you got the floor, brother. Let's hear it.
I'm here. I'm waiting my turn. That's all.
All right. Well, 2 things real quick. One, I have a mid-vacation weather report from Coco. Alaska, cold and rainy and awesome. More rain and cold with a forecast of rain. And secondly, we have a growing problem in this country of drone. So police officers should have a method of combating drones. And my preferred method is the steel cable net. A steel cable net would work perfect for stopping an assailant just like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Coco?
I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to having another opportunity or another source of less lethal. But I don't know of a. I don't know of a steel net that's being used as far as law enforcement.
If I can jump in real quick on that, Joe, with what he's saying, with my days of being bored on YouTube, I've actually seen something along the lines of that. It's in a rifle format, and it almost shoots a steel cable with a pair of balls on the end of it that wrap around their legs or body. I'll have to see if I can dig that video up for you, and I'll post it up. That could be a good thing.
It's called the wrap.
Yep, the wrap.
I think Taser actually makes it.
Well, there'll be that's something else for Axion to charge agencies $5 million to use for 6 months.
It's actually called a bolo. It's used in South America.
That may be
And
where I saw
Grizz,
it was a video
when you
in South
have-
America.
Yeah, Grizz, when you have that vehicle, when it stopped, that officer, if he had stayed where he was, would have been in a very bad tactical position had somebody needed to do something, and he would have been in the line of fire. So
Yeah.
he's not going to stay there.
That was my first thought. Was that would be
Grizz's audio is coming in horrible on our end.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I
Grizzly,
mean,
you got to update out of dial-up. Dial-up's not working for you, buddy.
Only
Hey,
you
folks,
can
we-
prevent forest fires, dog.
Our time.
Just tell him he's got to get off dial-up. And there went all of Joe's subscribers. Just
Well,
I love you, Joe. I love you.
That was my co-host Bruce Wayne, the Prince of Darkness, as we call him. Folks, we've got to get on to some of these other videos. I want to go to everybody that's in the space and to get their comments, and then I want to move on from this one. Big Ron, let's get to the rest of the
world news. Let it roll, buddy.
Space.
That's all right. I was, it's I'm past his videos, It's the cop that went after when he went after. I saw the one with the move with the club. Okay. But he didn't quite make it there. He saw the other guy start to move, so he bounced back. But his immediate reaction from bouncing back was drawing his weapon. Okay, he had already removed himself from the threat range by bouncing back, leaping backwards. He's got 5 other support there, back up there. I don't think I don't think that's the first shooter. He didn't have to draw. He already backed himself away from the situation. So, I mean, because you saw him, if you look at it again, he just backs up and then draws. And he didn't back up to get away. He backed up and repositioned to shoot. So I'm just, that's just something I saw in the end there.
I don't think he actually shot, though, did he?
Yeah.
I know he cleared leather.
He's the one who shot first. You see,
Okay.
you can see his, you can see the top of that gun move.
No, without a doubt, there were shots fired. By the way, this gentleman did survive. He was hospitalized, but this was not lethal. It didn't result in lethal force. Definitely deadly force, but not lethal force. All right, we're going to go to this is Lawyer Joe's stomping grounds, Whitehall, Ohio.
I have no idea where Whitehall, Ohio is.
Amigo. Ah. No, amigo. Aquí. Any pistoles?
No pistol.
Drogas?
No. ¿Drogas? No drogas. Solo venimos a comprar unas papitas, pero como estaba calentando mi carro. Estaba calentando mi carro. Dame la herramienta.
Where?
33.
Manos arriba!
No.
58. We got these two with a 33 in the car. Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Yeah, go ahead. Manos arriba! Manos arriba!
What?
Manos arriba! Put your hands up! Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Stop! Stop! 58 shots fired, shots fired. Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Migo!
The suspect hit.
I don't know, I can't tell. Manos arriba! Manos arriba!
All right, Spencer, let's back up and let's get a shield.
He's about to get the. It's okay, my friend. It's okay.
Hola.
Hola, amigo.
¿Habla inglés?
No, inglés no.
¿No inglés?
No inglés.
Amigo, aquí.
¿Qué pasó?
Any pistoles?
No.
¿Drogas?
¿Ah?
¿Drogas?
No drogas. Solo venimos a comprar unas papitas, pero como se estaba calentando mi carro. Ven.
Hey.
Como se estaba calentando mi carro.
3.
Dame mi herramienta.
33. Step out of the vehicle.
We got these two with a 33 in the car.
Manos arriba! Manos arriba!
Engineer, step up.
Turn around.
Yeah, go ahead.
Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Put your hands up!
Amigo, ¿qué pasó?
Manos arriba! ¿Pistola?
No, pistola.
¿La pistola? Manos arriba!
Shot fired. Shot fired. 3.
On the ground now!
Shot fired.
Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Over here.
Amigo,
Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Amigo!
74, start a couple medics down here, please. Start a couple medics.
Yo no sé nada, yo soy
We got one
nada.
suspect hit.
Okay, that's going to move real fast. These officers were on patrol. They heard shots being fired from this area. They went to investigate, and they found that vehicle there, occupied 2 times. Okay, let's go to. I'm going to go to John this time, and then I'm going to go to the room, and then we're going to come back to because Lawyer Joe is running me long on time tonight. But I'll give you an opportunity to Lawyer Joe on this as well. But John, what's your opinion on that one?
I didn't see the gun, but so I have to be fair. I have no comment. I didn't see the gun.
There was a gun in the car, and it was fired by the passenger. You can't really tell, and you can't hear the shots, but doing the research on it, the passenger did discharge the gun, firearm out the driver's side.
So did anybody else pick up on the red shirt? Just his body language. I got the chills watching him kind of move around in there when he approached. I don't think y'all picked up on that as well, but
The passenger or the driver, Jason?
the passenger.
Yeah, the passenger was hinked up.
Yeah.
He was hinky. There was something. Yeah. The driver
Well,
just got out.
And I see that Ron Patterson threw it up but they got a 33 in the car. They also broadcast that up. That means officer needs assistance or, an assistance call. They called it pretty quick when he got there. And I agree with you, Jason, that passenger just wasn't acting like he should be acting in the circumstances that he was in my opinion. I would have looked at him pretty close as well. But let's go. Big Ron, we got any hands up in the room?
Yeah, let's take a check. We got world news up. World, you got something you want to throw out on this, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just. I mean, I didn't see the gun either, to be honest. I mean, the cam coverage was a little bit shady. It doesn't, had a few blind spots there. But okay, so but I do agree with the activity. The behavior of that passenger was definitely he was too fidgety. I mean, sometimes you can come across somebody on drugs that's like that too, but they're just high. But he just seemed like he was contemplating something, and he just had that body language. I mean, I'll go with that. I agree with that part. But that's as far as the shooting. I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't see the weapon, but I mean, I didn't see it on the camera. I mean, I probably have to go really look at that, pause it and take a look and pause and take a look. But that's but I do agree with the body language and everything else was definitely something to raise a flag.
No, absolutely. And I had to go do some research on that to determine the whole firearm status. And there's a couple of factors there, I think, the police officers had in mind. They were nearby. They heard the reports of gunfire themselves. This is a parking lot late at night. It's the only car that's occupied that's there. So they were already antenna up approaching this car or this vehicle with these 2 people in it. But the passenger did discharge the firearm out the driver's side first, and then that's when pretty much all hell breaks loose, as they say. But the body worn camera, because they back away as the action begins, so they get you further away from this. It's not like we're going to be able to see the actual firearm or makes a full determination off body worn camera alone on this one. Got anybody else in there, Big Ron?
No, I think that's it, Joe. I think that's the only person we had up that had to make a comment. I think go ahead and roll to the next video, my friend.
I'm super disappointed. Well, I want to real quick, Lawyer Joe and TC guys, let's try to make it quick. Let's don't take this into a federal case. I've got some more videos to get to.
I didn't see any problem with anything they did. Like the driver got out when the cop asked him to get out. I mean, he didn't want to put his French fries down, but he got out. He complied.
I mean,
he got out and complied, but the passenger was hanky, and I think the cop was. I mean, he pulled out a gun. All he had to do was put his hands up. He pulled out a gun, shot at the cop. The cop was 100% in the right to do what he did. That's all I
The
say.
driver had fries, but the passenger guy looked like he had a 6-piece chicken nugget. So I mean,
I think it
am
was
I
a
right?
6-piece. Yes. Yeah, I think
He
it
had a
was a
6-piece.
6-piece.
It looked
mean,
like
if the
maybe he had a gun under the bag.
if the
Maybe
fries were hot, I don't blame the dude for not wanting to put them down because those are good. But I mean, there was no problem with the driver getting out and the passenger refused, and the cop shot him because he shot first.
And let's
end of
be
discussion.
honest. The cops smelled the McDonald's from a long ways away. There were no guns. They heard no gunshots. They smelled the food. That's
All right, objection. If we were talking donuts, I'll go with you. But cops aren't as big a fan as chicken nuggets. As
Hot French fries are so
hot French fries every time, bro. No, I actually want to give props to the cop on the driver's side, because not only did he have the situational awareness, but he actually moved the driver out of harm's way. He actually pulled him away from the scene instead of just pushing him down on the ground.
Yeah, I
And
like that too. He
that was
brought him back
actually
behind that wall.
that was
to,
a
like-
really solid move on his part. That was not just to secure him, because he already had him cuffed. He moved him away from any further fire, either from inside the vehicle or from a crossfire situation. So that was solid. That was a good shoot. I mean, I hate to see it, but it was a good shoot. And high people with chicken nuggets, you never know what they're going to do.
I was thinking he didn't speak Spanish that great, because I'm like, is he sure that he's saying this correctly? Because the guy
he was
like he doesn't understand him.
No,
I was thinking the
getting it
same
right.
thing.
No, he was getting it right. That was the right command. I mean, that's all the Spanish he had. He knew some other things on the ancillary side, but
If you knew Spanish better, you might have been able to talk out of the situation. Like, abre la puerta, like talking to him in Spanish, but obviously he knew the few ones. That was like, I know these few words, and then I'm pulling out my gun. So
The cop on the
if
driver's side
I
was
can't
pretty
if I
fair.
can get you to raise your hands, then I don't know how much further that conversation is going to be able to go.
you should watch a cop that doesn't know any Spanish read somebody their Miranda rights. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't even
That's
attempt
why
it.
you have a printed form in different languages, so you can give it to him and then ask.
All right, guys, we're going to another video. And we can't close out this show without our man in Florida. So here's our man in Florida.
What the? Tango 937, 10 City. Signal 12. 17,000 Southeast County Road 234-28. Hotel Golf X-Ray. Florida 10 Chevy. Signal 1, Signal 2. Just threw a beer out the window. Wrong lane of traffic.
Sounds like a drive to me.
Yes. Once he drops down to 45, I'm going to pit him. We're heading towards 441. We're coming up to 441 now. He's in the wrong lane of traffic. Through the median.
I think
Coming
it's
up to the
interesting
call.
that even when you're running from
The
cops,
highway patrol is directly in front of me. If you can let them know.
But you're not trying to make things worse on yourself.
no, that's what I'm
SUV.
going the wrong way.
70. miles an hour.
Flip him off.
He's slowing
That's
down
not
to the
unlawful.
construction zone. You see that?
Heading toward Marion County, he's flipping me off.
He's expressing his First Amendment rights, or exercising his First Amendment rights with his
100%.
expression.
I don't. I'm actually really upset though that the guy's got his veteran thing on the back end. Man, I mean,
We're at 30. I'm pitting.
I mean, express your First Amendment rights. Just don't like run for cop and drive like an asshole.
It could be another form of expression.
Pit failed.
I like the slowing down in the construction zone. That's a nice touch.
It's got one of those signs that says the child when it says my dad works here, so they're respecting that. It's good to see.
SHP's coming back up on me.
Okay, cops should drive four-wheel vehicles because like irritates me because their balance is so bad. Get a four-wheel drive.
This dude is amazing at how good he was hit.
Busted taillights, all you could do after 2 attempts.
Speed 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, Ron pointed out that's the Navy crest in the back on the back of the car. That's why he's so good at the handle. You know what it is too. It's a Marine that did all of his time on chick.
Steeler Nut has a great observation. Felony tail light out. Oh, headlights out too. Now.
Like, where does this idiot think he's going? I'm already pissed off.
Did you think this pursuit began with a logical decision?
No, I'm just annoyed. I'd be cop.
I'm just upset the cop didn't stop to pick up the beer. That was clearly an offer of help.
Right. You might need a counselor on this one with a gun to shoot his tires out or something.
Where's Mel Gibson for lethal weapon when he needs it?
No, this guy just needs bitch slap.
He's got the spike strips out, so let's get closer to him. Right on his bumper now.
You missed him because you made him miss him.
Okay, it feels like some Keystone Cop shit going on here. You have one spike strip.
We're coming through the intersection. I'm just trying to make another loop. Go ahead towards center.
Oh, he's bowing Luke Duke and he's like,
Well, it's not like he can be charged with more fleeing. Fleeing is fleeing. It's not like extra fleeing.
you need Waylon Jennings like break out. Just a good old boy.
Ran me twice now.
Or at that point, you just admit this dude's a better driver than you let it go.
Exactly. Today's your day. Just go on out.
You just found out that you got the guy that used to have to ride with Dale Earnhardt. That's what this is.
If he needs a job driving for the sheriff's department.
Yeah. I turn the corner fine. Uncle Jesse and
Come on, Joe. You're an attorney. It's not a department. It's an office. It's the sheriff's office.
Yeah, fuck the sheriff's office. But anyway, yeah, either way. Actually, no, I was just going to the sheriff's department. But I'm serious, this dude's a pretty damn good driver and he's taking really good control. You know, it's not end of shift because I don't think they'd still be chasing it.
You sure this isn't Minnesota with all that road construction?
Yeah, we've been down this road before.
This road exists in every state.
Construction crew just decided they're done for the day. They're packing.
They'll ram those cars.
We're on like lap 3 coming by.
I'm telling you, this is Dale Earnhardt's practice driver.
His stunt double.
At what point do you admit that you're like defeated? I mean,
You run the guy's plates, you get his address, you send somebody to his house.
yep. That's, I mean,
We don't give
literally
up.
at this
We
rate,
will chase you
you
across
can
the
feed
state.
him to his
He's on
house.
the inside lane now.
Got to be the Navy
Inside lane
sticker.
for the
Back on the outside lane.
just messing with
You
him.
run the plate, get the dick over and you call on front and the car off.
Florida will chase you until your wheels fall off. We will not stop.
Speed 100. Traffic light. Sorry, you stop it? Real stop it?
Oh, no. Oh, there we go.
Nah, that was just an airbag going off. He's still good.
it looks like you had the side airbag too. That's nice. That's safe.
Yeah. Now let's see you go somewhere.
Demolition Derby time.
Yeah, I want to see the middle finger back.
No. I can't believe this guy. He ran from cop. Oh, he's wearing a turtle suit, folks. Do you see that? Go back.
Suicide watch, yeah.
He's wearing the turtle suit.
All right, I want to go to Jason on this. I want to. We're coming down to the last minute. Jason, give me your opinion on his pit maneuver.
The last one was great. I just questioned what was the reason for the traffic stop in the first place.
DWI, if you watch the beginning of the video, I'll put it back there. It was very clear, actually.
Okay.
I'll turn it down so we can talk to it.
No, you're fine. No,
Right there. Just watch him come through the intersection.
What the?
I think the probable cause is pretty good on that.
yeah,
I like the cops. What the?
again, I'm going to go back to, is there a supervisor working? Because you're pursuing a guy through an active construction scene. I just think, I don't know if the risk is worth the reward on this one. I probably would have terminated the pursuit.
I would say in Texas that we would have continued that pursuit, but we would have got him with the spike strips. In my opinion, there was a tactical issue on the spike strips. They knew they were being deployed. Officers should have backed off and let him go through there so they could have drug it across both lanes, and they'd have taken his tires out at that point. But with the officers so close, they had to give it an exit lane. And, of course, the suspect takes the exit lane as well.
If you think that cop's what the on his dash cam was bad, you should hear me every morning on my dash cam.
It was funny because out of nowhere he's just like, what the?
All right, folks, we have come to the end of the show. And we're going to kick up the after party. And Big Ron and folks that are in the space, we're not going to kill that space. We're just going to take a break for about 10 minutes. And then we'll get back on it and do the after party in there. The videos are still up. The ones that we didn't get to, we can discuss those as well. We can continue to discuss this this brilliant chase or pursuit that we've just witnessed here. But I want to thank my panelists. I want to thank everyone that participated. All the activity we've had across YouTube and the other locations that we're pushing this out to. Some great questions have come in, and good comments, good commentary tonight in points of view, I believe. So I want to, everyone, thank you very much. And for those of you that are off X platform, if you want to join us in the space, we're going to continue the discussion in the night court after party. But I want to thank everyone and appreciate your participation.
And thanks to my viewers.
Yeah, dude. Your viewers were 100% all responding.
Yeah,
You're
no,
very
you're
active following, dog.
Very active followers. I like your followers coming off of YouTube.
When I put the video link up, I was like, keep it nice.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick pause here for a little bit. If you guys want to get up and stretch your...
All right,
Yeah, guys, we're
space off.
We're
this way. I mean, I turned the volume from them coming this way off.
but we're still live on the live stream as well.
Yes.
I believe, Kingdom, you've got another live show coming up with.
I don't know. I think Rebel said that he was going to come on. I hope that he does, but if he doesn't, I think we have backup plan A and B, and obviously the space would be plan A or B. C. No. Well, that would be the normal plan A. But if he comes in, we can break into it. Hey, do you want to? What do you think about
Kingdom,
that?
go ahead and
new
show your
Trump
mic into the space, would you?
thing? Okay, sure.
I am.
What do you think about the Trump thing I made? The little bumper.
I like it quite a bit. Let's run it now.
Yeah,
it was it was a very nice bumper.
Hey, that area that they were in, I've been through that area before. That guy was coming off of I-95.
And where? I-95 where?
That's not. It's up by Alachua in the Gainesville area. So yeah, he was coming. He was northbound off of I-95. I think that was 441 or 414 that he was coming off of, or coming on to. I'm sorry, from 95. There's a little exit there. I think that's a strip club and a gas station right there at that corner.
Wow,
that's probably where he was heading. Get him a fresh 40 and
club. Yeah,
to the strip club.
He did like
ruining the game.
A pretty wide turn, threw his beer bottle out. That he was keep going, but
he was bribing the cop.
I was surprised that he kept his cool. Most people overreact, go too fast, wreck their car, but he actually kind of kept it under control and stuff for being drunk. You know,
well, it wasn't his first run. He was on probation for exactly the same thing: DWI and evading in a motor vehicle.
I mean, he wasn't going to outrun him in that freaking Suburban or that Tahoe or whatever it was.
He probably wrecked out premature in the first one, so he kept his nerves under control on this one and kept it going as far as he could. Let's burn that candle to the very end.
It's a good story when you get around your buddies in jail, right?
Right. I'm going to run this. This
guy does not. This guy does not have any buddies in jail. I'll tell you right now, because you could see in his booking picture is right away in the turtle suit, and the guys inside the detention centers don't respect that. They're like, dude. Oh no, you're gonna hurt yourself because you got caught. Oh,
nah, that's only for the first 72 hours. After that, he calms down.
Suicidal? Do you feel like
get him an IC mic? He's good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, I'm gonna run this Trump speech promo for tomorrow. Those of you guys that are listening, we'll be covering Trump's speech at the NRA live. We'll have a little pregame show on that and some live commentary to go along with that. And our content creators that contribute to this live stream have put together some special videos for us to go over and present tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a big day for our live stream broadcast.
I will work on my video tomorrow sometime.
No problem, TC. You and I have talked about that. If you don't get a chance to get to it, no worries. But maybe you could join us live for the commentary. Go live with us.
What time is that at?
I don't know. We don't know when he's talking. I don't know if he's talking at 3 or talking at.
Well, he's speaking up here in Minnesota tonight.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. Fox. I think he's speaking right now. But tomorrow he's speaking in Dallas at the NRA. So we were going to do like a show since it had something to do with guns. About
keep me posted, and if I can, I will. But it's like tomorrow's my double workout day and take care of my illegal backyard chickens day. So.
Yeah, it'll be the same link right here.
It'll be the same link, but we've also had the creators meeting tomorrow at noon. If you can get in Central Time for you as well, if you can make that, and we'll have the rest of the out live for the afternoon. If you can make it, that'd be great.
Where are you doing the creators meeting?
Right here.
Right here.
All right. Well, I will.
I'll shoot it to you.
Okay.
It's the same link you got in here tonight. It'll be the same one tomorrow.
Yeah, I might be able to do that just by listening in while I'm doing stuff.
Something, yeah.
All right,
sure
thanks.
All right, guys.
I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go make myself a sirloin.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good. I'm going to run this promo like I've said for the last 2.5 minutes, and then I'll meet you guys on the space. I appreciate
it. Don't run anything.
Welcome to We the People Live. As Trump prepares for his NRA speech in Dallas, record-breaking crowds are forming everywhere Trump goes.
Okay.
But does Trump support the Second Amendment? Trump did ban the use of bump stocks, which is a form of gun control. We will have expert analysis with Night Court host and weapons expert Joe LaNue. with special guest Thunder Dan from the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, broadcasted on Kingdom Radio Live. You're listening to We the People Live, and this is a special edition.
Look what they do to you, look what they do to me. You must be joking if you think that either one is free.
What do you think about that one? Oh, Lulu's already gone. Here's now. You can stop your live streams if you want, brother.
I'm stopping now. I'll catch you guys later.
Hell yeah, man. See you tomorrow.
We the People Live.
Let's stop. So we had a bunch of comments. Act local lift.
Yeah, I think it was a good show tonight there, Kingdom.
Yeah, Big Ron, isn't it? It's Friday night, isn't it? Like past your bedtime, brother?
Well, I usually get off Monday through Thursday early because I got to get up at 5 a.m. and go to work.
Yeah.
So
you're, East Coast.
Yeah, so it's when he cut it back to 2 hours a night from 3, really worked out a lot better for me.
Yeah, I told him you have to, dude. You have to.
Yeah, it was too much.
And really, I said, you need an intro show, like a pre-show, like you have an after show, have a pre-show and get someone like John or someone to run like a pre-show for, East Coast and, just to keep people listening. Who do we got that jumped in there?
Yeah, I'm definitely learning. There's a couple of things I got to figure out here because I'm running 4 screens right now tonight, trying to cover everything. I've got YouTube up, I've got Twitter up, I've got StreamYard up. But what I've noticed is in the comments section on StreamYard, it says can't post comments to Twitter, and I can't post anything in the comments section. I can only post it in the private chat. So I have to go to the YouTube section to post anything that needs to pop up in the comments. The other thing